Here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Und
trinken! Hello, everybody. Welcome to HopTopics, where we talk about beer and movies.
Movies and beer.
My name is Matt.
And I'm Cameron.
And today's beer that we're talking about...
Today's beer we're talking about is Spaten Oktoberfest.
For a good reason, because we're talking about
Beerfest. One of our collective favorite movies.
Oh, totally. Fucking love this movie.
I mean, if anything, it's just an excuse to drink beer in ridiculous amounts.
So much beer.
So much beer.
So
I don't think I've
glorious.
ever watched this movie without, like, ending up drinking, like, a few beers.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way to do it.
I mean, they opened up the whole thing with, warning, if you try to consume this amount of alcohol, you will die.
Yep.
That does not stop me from trying.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we had to... It took us a few years to build up our tolerance to get there, but I'm pretty sure we put up a good fight in Beerfest.
Yeah, you know, honestly, looking at those events, we'll get to that, but no, we'd probably still die.
Yeah,
they drank a freaking lot in that movie. But anyways,
well, I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure we'd have a good team.
Well, yeah, I mean,
We at least have 3 people.
Yeah, myself, Tyler, like that's top 3 right there.
Yeah.
You know, probably Nick would probably put up a good. I think we could play some drinking games.
But he can't hold his beer.
He
He can't hold his alcohol, man.
Who else do we know that can? I mean, I'm sure if we asked my dad would be totally down to be in Beerfest. I don't know how much game he can play, but he can drink beer until the end of the earth.
Your dad can definitely hold his ale.
Yeah, quite easily. Yeah. We'll be all like stumbling around, freaking pissing in front of people, and he'll just be all like, pussies.
Bunch of pansies.
I'll drink this 36 Becks. One Becks! But anyways, Beerfest, for the uninitiated, is a movie about 2 brothers. Running. That need to spread their grandfather's ashes and go to Germany during Oktoberfest to spread the ashes. Are met with Mr. Schniedelwissen, which directly translated means cockjerker, and are led to the most magical and wondrous events known as Beerfest.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. It's I want to.
You go. I'm never leaving this place.
You go. I'm never leaving.
Yeah. But there they meet their German cousins, and they humiliate them and destroy them in a drinking competition.
Yeah,
so
but it was like apparently they were like the 2 worst drinkers.
Yeah, well,
in which
Hammaker and Schlemmer. Oh, you want that 2 best? You want to about the 2 worst? Hammaker, Schlemmer. And it's these 2 gigantic German
dudes.
I think probably the best part about that is that the least German person on that team, who's played by Will Forte, is the one saying it too.
Right.
Because he has probably the most exaggerated... Oh wait, no, it wasn't Will Forte.
No, it wasn't Will Forte. It was
I don't remember the
I don't remember this guy's name.
But yeah, Will Forte plays a German guy, and I mean all the German accents except for like the few actually German people.
The few German people that are in the...
Well, the 2 big guys are German and or Austrian, I'm not entirely sure. But and then the grandfather...
yeah.
Wolfgang von Wulfhausen.
Grandpapa.
is actually played by a German guy who was in the movie Das Boot.
Das Boot.
And so,
which refers to his quote later in the movie where he had a bad experience in one of the U-boats.
Just cramped up in this U-boat. Had a bad
experience once. Where he was the captain in that.
Yeah, so they are humiliated and shown that they can't drink at all compared to the Germans. So they go home and then vow to come back with a team of drinkers and represent America and defeat the Germans. And, kind of prove them wrong. And, it's a stupid movie, but it's so great.
It's so funny. There's so many lines that when the Germans are talking to the two brothers. And they're talking about it how he stole, how their grandfather stole.
He stole it!
He stole the recipe! It was the greatest beer around the world!
Which I still say at work every time, my favorite beer is in the store. I'm just like, it is the greatest beer in all the world! I have to say it, almost every single time.
You have to say it like that, or else it doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so they're talking about now Germany only has four vests. We have Steimermarschen and Randberger Unbex.
It's one of the most quotable lines in the whole movie. But there's so many quotable lines in this movie.
There really is he found it a whole plum.
I was plumb surprised.
He was my fat asshole.
Might as well give an explicit warning right here because there are a couple lines where F-bomb is going to be dropped.
It's gonna happen. I mean, it's a rated R movie. It happens. Yeah. But it's still funny, and you need to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many quotable lines in this movie. So there's a lot of references to other movies in this movie. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reference to Das Boot, which Das Boot is the the main focal point to Beerfest itself is it's this this massive insurmountable.
It's an actual boot-shaped glass.
Yeah, which I didn't read up too much on it, but it goes back to World War I.
Yep.
Soldiers.
One of the high command is telling his soldiers if they prevail, he will drink beer out of his boot, and they ended up winning that battle. And so, in order to fulfill his promise, he went to a glass worker. They built him a boot made out of glass.
So that he wouldn't have to taste his own sweaty feet.
Exactly. Well, and he also wouldn't ruin the leather of his boot.
Yeah.
Which is more important during wartime. So, but he still fulfilled his promise by drinking out of the boot, which is a big boot.
Yeah.
It's not a small boot. This if you drink this thing, you will probably die if you don't have a high alcohol tolerance.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Well, I mean, not die, but you'll probably throw up trying to drink that amount of beer.
It's a lot of beer.
Very quickly. I mean, I couldn't even finish a whole, an actual boot filled with beer. I couldn't do that in one go.
Not in one go.
Not a chance, man. I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I got some stomach capacity. I got some ability to drink quickly, but I'd probably get through half of that thing and be like, alright, I'm going to stop for a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Let me get a few burps out. And
exactly. Get a burp and
it'll just get slower and slower.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's 64 ounces of beer.
I think so.
In a proper boot.
Yeah, in the proper boot, I'd say probably about that, which is a lot of beer all at once.
A lot of beer.
And then you have to spin it.
Yeah, you got to spin it at the end. Is it bubbling? Is it bubbling? Your face explodes! Frankly, I find it rather frustrating.
It's frustrating.
So frustrating.
Frustrating.
I almost wanted to smack you right now.
Oh, Popo. Your face, it explodes.
Since we're just kind of rambling about the movie, which I feel like is what we're going to do for this video, is just kind of ramble about the movie, quote it as much as we want.
As much as we can,
give some interesting facts that we do know about the movie. Like Das Boot. It has nothing to do with boots. It actually means the boat. If you wanted to say Das Boot, it's Bierstiefel.
Bierstiefel, yes.
Bierstiefel.
Yes, Bierstiefel.
Yeah. German word for the day. Bierstiefel.
Bierstiefel.
Das Boot. The boot.
Or
beer boot.
Das Boot is the boat, and the Bierstiefel is the boat. The boot.
The boot. Or beer boot.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, let's talk about this beer a little bit, because I'm sitting here drinking it. I'm really enjoying this beer.
Yeah, this is a good beer.
This is Spaten Oktoberfest. Comes out usually in September, which is the German Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm. Appropriately.
Yeah. Marzen style beer. Made in Munich. 5.9% alcohol. That's kind of decent alcohol.
Yeah, that's not bad,
Yeah.
Doosin.
As you can see, it's dark. Like, for a beer under 7%, like, this is a dark beer. And it is just malty, rich and barley flavors.
Oh, yeah, you get so much flavor from this. This is so good.
Oh, man. This is probably one of my favorite Oktoberfests.
There's not a damn thing wrong with this beer.
Not at all. I fucking love this beer.
Like when you first open the beer and you smell it, it smells like any generic German beer, like Beck's.
Beck's?
What Beck's?
No, this
but that's just the general smell. When you taste it, you get so much more. You get the malt, you get barley, you get
malt and barley. You get
the flavor just keeps cascading in. It's just wonderful. It's just a full flavored beer.
Yeah, I get a little bit of vanilla, roasted almond.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's an absolute awesome beer.
Oh totally.
If you're watching this at the time of release, this is still going to be probably available at, more specialty stores, maybe some liquor stores or something like that. But if you ever want to find it in stores, look around September when Oktoberfest is actually happening.
Yes.
Because that's when this beer is going to be most readily available. Yeah. Also, it's freshest.
And it's so good. Totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 5 out of 5.
We almost picked Beck's for this video just because of the one reference to Beck's.
Oh, Beck's!
Yeah. I honestly was leaning more towards a Spaten beer because that's the beer that they drink during Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Plus, I just love Spaten, like the regular Spaten or the Optimator. This one, I'm so glad I'm
very happy you chose this one. Yeah,
because man, this is freaking delicious.
It's so flavorful. It's so good.
Roasty, malted barley. Oh man.
Yes, it's wonderful.
So good.
So good. Yes. I want to freeze it in the winter and skate on it, and melt it in the springtime and drink it.
I want to stick my dick in it.
I wanted to stick in me.
Guess that means Gan really was a whore. But yeah.
Drunken Recall.
Drunken Recall. Great part of the movie.
Oh, hell
yeah. Let's mention the characters a little bit.
We got Todd and
Jan.
And Jan.
They're the brothers.
Two brothers.
The von Wolfhausens, the two brothers. Obviously, by American standards, they're good drinkers.
By American standards.
By American standards. But by Beerfest standards,
they suck.
Do you want us to put a nipple on that?
I remember my first beer.
And so, two brothers running in a van. And then,
after they come home, they try and form a team. So they find landfill, which
they knew from Hands Across America.
Hands Across America.
And he's competing in a hot dog eating competition where he just destroys everybody.
I relate to this guy so much.
Yeah, seriously. Couldn't drink beer like him though. Dude, that guy's a freaking beast.
Dude, nobody can drink beer like that man. That man tried to...
Dude, you watch him during those scenes, he's actually drinking.
Oh yeah, he's like the one...
during filming it's O'Doul's that they're drinking. It's not alcoholic beer, but it's still the same effect of drinking beer. Like, it's going to fill you up just as much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still carbonated, it's still going to be cold. Like, and then that guy can fucking drink beer.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yep.
Like, you see him shotgun a beer, he's really shotgunning a beer, and it takes him no time at all. You see him freaking chugging out of a glass, he chugs that glass like nothing. Like, he knows how to fucking drink.
He is my role model.
Well, you got some work to do, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Gotta learn to loosen the muscles of the throat.
Loosen the muscles of the throat.
You gonna start drinking ram's piss too?
No, I'm not going that
far. And then Fink,
who's the smart one,
nerdy scientist guy.
Yep.
He's the one that's supposed to figure out the boot, which, I mean,
until pretty much the end of the movie.
The end of the movie,
he does.
Which, I mean, honestly, it's a boot. Should be able to figure that shit out pretty quickly, but
but he didn't think of the
zip upper.
Zip upper.
Straight.
Your face explodes.
And then
there's Barry Badgernath.
And
who's Barry Badgernath? Who's Barry Badgernath?
Who's like the greatest drinking game player ever, especially for Pong, but not like beer pong like we normally play it, which is still a game in Beerfest. It's just played with stein glasses like this,
like these,
and
like a
very narrow table.
Yeah,
but
it's about like
paddle pong, like. It's basically ping pong, but you can also
pong,
make it
into the glass. Yeah.
For I don't know what the actual rules are for that game, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, like
extra points it's just more drinking.
It's more drinking. It's the same, like, because that was the origination for beer pong.
Yeah.
And then it beer pong with just shooting became an offshoot essentially. That was how it originated, like with actual ping pong paddles and playing with ping pong. They had solo cups on each side, and if you make it in the cup, they have to drink from the cup. And when the game ended, the losing team had to finish the beer. It just so happens that they had to drink out of big glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great movie.
It really is.
I really like this movie.
You should give it a try.
Yeah, you should watch it,
Yeah.
We're not in our point of career where we can just clip out parts, are we?
No.
Yeah, we're not good at editing.
Yeah.
I really gotta pee. You know, me staring at that toilet for like 5 minutes, just like,
This is what we came for you for. German, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think this is pretty much the best part of the end on.
Well, I don't know. We still got a lot of jokes we can go. I mean, there's a whole drunken recall thing where.
All right. Well, then you want to pause it and come back?
No, I think I'm okay. I think I can make it a little bit longer. A couple more minutes. You know?
All right. So when they come back eventually,
they have no idea where this place is.
Yeah,
because they were super hammered when they went there.
Yeah, I hadn't eaten much that day.
Yeah. And so Fink was all like, well, which one of you was more hammered? You know, like, I did this study for Maxim magazine called E = MC Hammered.
Yeah. Drunken recalls.
Where you got people super drunk, talk to them about stuff, and when they sobered up, they don't remember anything, but then we got them super drunk again, we asked them about it, and they remembered everything. And, yeah, so that's how they end up finding Beerfest again, is...
So yeah, Drunken Recall.
Drunken Recall.
Yeah.
We already explained it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they end up finding the place, they do the
Trojan cake.
Trojan cake, after they do the what's the password? It's the password!
And then he yodels.
He yodels.
I'm not going to try and recreate that, and that's just...
That was last year's password!
And then Barry's all like, I got an idea. And then knock on the door. Rosa! Oh, man. This is the most jumbled, out-of-place everything in a video we've ever had. Like, this might be almost as, like, weird and off-topic as Godzilla.
Yeah, probably.
Except we're way more sober for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they end up getting into Beerfest, playing against every other team. They beat...
Looks like we got the Brits in round 1. Beat them in WW2. Let's do it again.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
And then the Brits come up and talk to them, and they're like, "Do you know what they're saying?"
I wish I could quote that line right now, because those are some...
We're gonna put your skis in your head and wit. Do you know what he's saying?
And then the other guy says something about plonkers. But I don't know the line, so... As many times as I've seen that movie, couldn't tell you the line. But,
put your skis in your head and wit, you plonker!
Oh, dude.
I love movies, man.
I know you love movies. That's why we're doing this channel.
I quote them daily.
This is the reason why we're doing this.
It's not just here. It's daily.
Yeah. Well, you and me both, man. You and me both. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Okay, so yeah,
they played against the Brits.
The Brits
played against the Swedish. The
Swedes, which are all female, which is
all
funny,
female.
which is a good reference because it's funny.
Yeah, and we also get to see the boobs, which is also nice.
Yeah, which is funny because it's an all female team, and if you know anything about the Swedes, females outnumber men 3-1, I think, or is it? I think it's 3-1.
Is it 3-1? That's a lot.
There's a lot of females in Sweden.
Man, I gotta go to Sweden.
Shh.
You're the one shackled down. I ain't.
Hey man, the area codes, man.
That's a different movie.
We should do that movie too.
I'd be okay with doing that movie. I like that movie.
Anyway, yeah, after they beat the Swedes, then they play against. Then they go up against the Germans, right?
Is it only 3 rounds? I feel like there was another game in between there, but
yeah, they beat the Brits. They beat the Brits, and then they beat the Swedes, and then they go.
Didn't they beat somebody else before the Swedish?
The only other team that they show playing was the Germans against Mexico.
Against Mexico, I remember that. I don't know. I feel like there was another team in there, but
they showed other teams like.
Well, yeah, like in the run-in, whenever coming into Beerfest.
They're not that drunk.
So we got to keep this going because I have to get to one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
So they play against the other teams. It's more or less a montage, and then they get to the Germans, and then they're taking a piss, and they figure out Das Boot, and then they start playing against the Germans.
We're gonna ride Schwanz on you. Bring it on, Minor Beach.
Minor Beach. But they start playing against the Germans, and I think was the first one the distance quarters.
The quarters, yes.
Yeah. Fucking Will Forte, man. Barry friggin' nails it. So all right, you're
moves the bucket.
20 meters. What? 20 meters? You're never gonna make it. 70 meters. All right. And then he friggin' just nails it.
Nails it. First try.
Yeah. What was the second game? I think the second game. I'm not sure if that one was the beer pong.
Monkey chug?
Oh, monkey chug. Yeah, I think you're right.
It was the monkey chug.
Yeah, upside down chugging.
Mm-hmm.
Which they chug from pitchers too. That alone would be enough to knock me out right there. And then they play beer pong, throwing the beers into night glasses like this. Which these are 16, 32, 44-ounce glasses.
Something like that, yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Almost 3 beers. It's like 2.5 beers. And they beat them in that. And then they're about to play the paddle pong for the end of it. And Barry Badgernack jumps in after Todd has to play because he's the one that got super drunk.
He's the one that got super drunk beforehand in order to recall everything.
Yeah. And they didn't use him during any of the other games because they really wanted to win, but they lost all the other events. And now he has to play the final event, otherwise disqualification.
Disqualification!
And so, Barry, being the best Pong player, steps up even though he had a paddle shoved up his ass.
Not the handle.
Not the handle. He's been shitting pancakes ever since. Can you imagine?
No.
An asshole not only got stretched out to that point, but didn't go back.
No. No, I can't. I can't.
Shivers.
Can't imagine.
Shivers.
That.
No, I wouldn't want to.
No.
Anyways, I've had all kinds of things shoved up my ass. But you know what I did? I got over it. So they managed to beat him in Pong, which first thing Barry does is he misses the first ball.
You know you're supposed to hit the ball.
And then the second time they throw it at him, he hits it and he smashes the big guy's glass. Hammers the...
How do you like that?
How do you like that, fuckhead? And then he
picks up the sign and just
shoots the glass. Bloody mouth and all. How do you like that, head fuck? It's one of my favorite scenes. It's one of my favorite things to say is when somebody ever if somebody ever says fuckhead, I always say head fuck. Or I'll even just use it as an insult just normally. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
Head fuck.
Why not?
Great insult.
Yes.
Just another great one to throw out there.
Exactly.
You know? So they beat them in that, and then they kind of montage through the next couple events until they're tied again.
Yep, 3-3.
You know what that means?
Das Boot! boot.
So we hit the boot challenge, and they lose.
They lose.
Because Cherry reveals to Landfill 2 that she killed his brother. Mm-hmm. And then they have to go to...
Double or Nothing!
Double or Nothing. Take the bet, you fucking pussy! Alright. Dude. And then I want spectator number one killed. I think I look on his face. He actually played that perfectly. So, what? Wait, what? I didn't think I'd be killed for speaking.
Oh, shit. So yeah, so they end up doing 5 boots against 5 boots. Not a drop must be spilt. And which they move Fink to end up to being the anchor.
The anchor, because he's got the eye.
Because he's got the eye of the Jew.
Which, super enigmatic, by the way. It's like, that is kind of racist. You know?
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, that's a little bit. I mean, like,
well, I mean, that's what they were going for. I mean, that's the whole reason they got him to join the team is because they were going up against big blonde Germans.
Blonde
Germans.
Yeah. No, it was really funny. This is probably I think this is the only scene where they CGI'd the beer into the glasses.
For most of the beer, yes.
For most of the beer. Actually, you still watch Landfills.
You watch Landfills? You watch Landfill drinking the beer?
Actual beer.
It's actual beer.
It's like they filmed him drinking actual beer.
Yeah.
He probably didn't finish all of that, but like when they actually film his part, he's freaking drinking beer.
He's drinking beer, yeah.
And every scene.
Every other person is like has
like
CGI
you see
beer.
It's like CGI beer into the glass.
Yep.
And it's just like blah, 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 and it looks ridiculous. Yeah, spit it.
Yeah. And then they end up winning.
They
get the brewery.
Yep.
And then they go to Amsterdam to celebrate. And they end up meeting Willie Nelson in a dark alley to set up a pot fest. Which is probably not going to happen.
No.
It's just coming soon.
It was a joke by them to kind of, give it some sort of, like, feeling of continuity. But more than likely, if they're going to revisit that concept, they're just going to deal with Beerfest, too.
Yeah.
Which I actually would.
I'd be super okay with Beerfest.
So okay with that.
Yes.
With like an Irish uprising, like the Irish come back, or maybe like the Russians or something. Just some other big beer drinking country would just like come up through the ranks and just like take on the Americans.
And then they have to do it again.
Yeah. They get beat by them in a random beer fest right at the beginning of the movie, and then they gotta train again, then
come back.
Yeah, they gotta come back, beat them, and come back, become triumphant at the end of the movie,
Yep.
Just like they did in the first one.
That's right.
And it's like they mentioned in Super Troopers 2, it's like, we don't want to just rehash the other stuff, right? We want to just do the same thing over again. But they'll end up doing the same thing over again.
Exactly.
And I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah, that's right, Bill. Yeah. End of the movie. End of the video. So,
here's to you.
Here's to me.
Friends for life, we shall always be.
If by chance we disagree.
Friends, screw you. Here's
to me.
Cheers.
Cheers.